Hello. How many of you have felt paralyzed when you stand in front of an audience on a stage? How many of you have that public speaking fear? Don't worry. Research says that it is the biggest fear next to the fear of death in this world. Okay, so that's how bad it is. So I would like to talk to you a little something about it, which I picked up from Dr. John D. Martini's words. I'm Sindhu Verma. I'm a personal growth evangelist and entrepreneur. I've been taking business communication for the past 5 to 6 years. I've trained more than 1,000 people. And every time, every so often, I get asked to train people on public speaking skills. So that's something that's very close to my heart because it's part of communication, yes, but more than that, because I was an introvert myself, very much shy of speaking. In fact, I wouldn't open my mouth because one thing was I was shy of speaking. The second thing was I was scared I'll mess up. I'll use butler English and all that. We used to call it that way. So that stopped me. So now that I have overcome my fear of public speaking, I wanted to help someone. So these are some of the tips which I got from hearing John D. Martini's words over one of his podcasts. And he is one of a person. He's a personal development trainer, a thinker, and a philosopher, a philanthropist who spends around, he has spent, I think, doing 400 assignments per year for the last 48 years. His own words, not mine. Okay. So I think it will serve us good if we take some good tips from him. So, um, the first tip that he talks about is that you should talk something which you are convinced about. Are you convinced about something that you are talking about? Does it come from your heart? Because otherwise, the voice just comes from here. Otherwise, it comes from within, from your chest, deep within your chest. Then what happens? It, it carries the stamp of conviction. And then people just trust you because they can feel that conviction. They can feel that vibe and people just trust you. Okay, so that's the best way to deliver. Are you delivering something that you are convinced about? Best thing to do. What's the second tip? Second tip would be to start with a personal story. That also comes across as very convincing because it's yours. You're talking about yourself, your experience. What is the concept that you're talking about? How has it, how have you experienced it? What have been your takeaways about that concept? If you share that, nothing like it. People just, as John D. Martini says, that if you open your heart, people will follow you, or people will go into their hearts. That is, they open up. They open up to listen to you, to what you have to say. You don't have to, break down any walls to get into their minds. The doors open on their own. So that's the power of a story as well, for sharing a personal experience. The third tip is that you're probably scared because you become self-conscious. You face an audience. What happens? You see that many eminent people out there, or you think people whom you think is much better than you in their intelligence or wisdom or positions, or the strata of life, society, whatever. So you start becoming self-conscious. And what happens once you become self-conscious? The focus is on you. The focus has gone away from what you were saying. The focus is, you've lost that train of thought. You're focusing on, how do I look? I hope it's coming out right. Or am I standing right? Is my posture correct? Is my tone correct? The words I'm using, I hope, oh my God, I've forgotten what I wanted to say. Okay, so the focus is totally lost and you start stammering, you start going blank. People have reported sensations like that. Suddenly their mind is like a blank page, nothing there, and they panic. Okay, the best thing, whatever you have, prepare well, and whatever you have, focus on your presentation alone. There was a trick which I used while doing classical dance. I was a classical dancer in school and college. So now I don't have much of a stage fear, but I had a fear of speaking, yes, but not for dancing. That was okay. You know why? Because when you dance, usually in the night, and the stage is lit up. Okay, I'm lit up. I'm visible to everybody, and the audience is in the dark. So I can just look at the audience like, wow, I don't see anybody. Okay. So I imagine that everybody's cheering for me. Everybody likes what I'm doing. And I'm confident on stage. So this is one tip you can use. You can look out, you can see a blank screen there. You're the only one there, or whatever. You can imagine the people that you like are there, who trust you, support you, your well-wishers. Then just go on the first few times till you get the hang of it, till you become confident of this skill. That's one thing you can do. And then when you finish it, come back to the present. Yeah, good tip? Right. Okay. The fourth one would be, you have to constantly upgrade yourself. If you aspire to be a public speaker, you have to constantly upgrade yourself. Be better than anyone in that topic. If you want to be an expert in a topic, you have to be better than anybody else in that topic. You have to keep trying. You have to keep upgrading yourself. You have to learn. You have to read a lot, get the latest information and updates. So that makes you an expert there. So by that, when you do that, when you are a constant learner, that helps you to be confident, right? Another tip would be, um, yeah, um, there is a, how do I put it? There should be a purpose, or something which is much more than the fear. Yeah, we all have fear, but then what if you have a purpose which is much, much more important than a fear? So I want to convey something. I'm passionate about something, but I'm scared. So what is bigger? What is weightier? Is your fear weightier, or is your passion weightier or bigger? So have a purpose, or something which can conquer your fear and put you on that stage, give you the courage to really face the audience and do it. Okay. Another tip would be, and this is very important, Dr. John DeMartini says that you should have 4 times the material with you when you go for a presentation or a public speaking. That is, if you are asked to speak for half an hour, ideally have 2 hours worth of material to talk. So what happens? What happens is that that you have lots to talk about. So if I have 5 points, or 5 points, if I need only 5 points for half an hour, if I have 15 points with me, case studies and stories, and I've prepared well, and I've all these things, and this is with me, even if I forget one of the points, even if I feel that I haven't done justice to point number 1, but I don't know what else to I don't know what else to talk, I can jump to the next point, the next point, the next point, because I know I will never feel inadequate. I'll never feel less confident, because I have enough material with me to talk about. Cool tip, isn't it? So these tips are coming from a master public speaker. Okay, so I hope you've noted it down, and to start practicing it. The point is, now, just recently somebody asked me, Sindhu, how to become, how to speak English fluently, and he was asking in the vernacular. the best way to speak is to speak in English. Okay, you don't learn flute by taking a flute in your hand and then knowing the theory. You don't learn swimming by standing on the shore. Similarly, you don't learn English if you don't speak it. Yeah, it'll take some practice, it'll take some time, it'll take some conscious effort, but is it worth it? Absolutely. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do comment below. I'd love to read your comments and your inputs on the public speaking skills. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.